The great warship weighed anchor and headed out to sea, and the chief mate once more left harbor with the skipper. For the skipper's absurd pursuit and the chief mate's faded memories, he hummed a crappy shanty of his very own composition, forming a chorus with the whales and the waves, which goes thus. The dumb mare and the witch never reached the blue sea. His wise brother at last became head. Where did he? Words that cannot be sung. Have I also forsaken the truth for illusions? Having lost it all, given it all up, then sinking beneath the waves? Maybe this isn't the worst of endings after all. The cynical chief mate was no native of 𝑗𝒉. On the contrary, he came from a grey land ruled by an aristocracy. They all say that he too was once such a noble, but he must have disgraced his house and was chased away. But that was all baseless hearsay. When he first came to the harbor, he carried naught but a slim sword, and a small sapphire blue feather pinned to his mantle. Later, the wanderer would throw in with the skipper and set out to sea, contending with great waves and sea creatures alike. That once azure blue feather would also be stained red by blood and by the salt of the great ocean. In his last moments, he remembered those days now drowned in drunken mist, memories appearing like treasure in the sand, brought to light by the lapping waves. The rough skipper once used his compass to guide his large ship, navigating treacherous ocean paths and conquering huge whirlpools. It also guided the one whose deep hatred hid behind an uninhibited laugh, and who, lost and despondent, sought death and burning drink.
I believe you all sing that the thief could not avoid the gallows in the end, eh? Hey, as long as you have a place to belong to, even ending up in the belly of a fish should be alright. Hey now, didn't you sign a contract with the ship when you first came aboard? That memory didn't get washed down with the wine, did it? Good then. After all, it is time to fulfill your contract.
Is that so? Well, alright. It doesn't matter anymore anyway. The exquisite cup fell from the chief mate's hand, raising tiny ripples as it hit the ocean surface. What did it see amid the schools of fish in the dying light? What had the chief mate encountered amidst the silent alleyways, before the bars of the flower-inlaid windows of a secret tryst? Down and down the dark gold cup sank, into the dreams of the sea monster and the dreams of the chief mate. Someday I will return the favor for this mark of humiliation that you left upon me. The moonlight illuminated Sapphire eyes and that striking scar. In his memory, her countenance grew brighter, beautiful, cold, and proud. But he had forgotten what he had said then, and grew suddenly despondent as a result. Come to think of it, how many times have I forgotten the past?
Does it matter how you retell the past? All deaths are in vain. There's no saving that which has already sunk.
The hard-drinking chief mate was lost in a drunken reverie from morning till night, and was rarely ever sober. He reeked of alcohol all over, often mumbling something of his tattered memories. However, the jovial skipper did not reprimand him, but kept handing him important responsibilities.
Well, we are both people without a thing to our names, eh?
The wine-sodden sea hat was thrust by a storm into the sky, and then carried away on the roiling waves. Those fated to lose their homelands engaged in battles bereft of hope and want. That which they lost to the sea of memory, they sought to reclaim from the deep.
The wind and waves are correct. We have found it. That giant creature that haunts and gnaws at me even in my dreams. The time for vengeance has arrived. We set sail!
This fourth fresco is prepared for you. Your likeness will forever remain on this wall. For the sake of that, and for the people, I will pray for you and wait for your return.
The maiden stood before a blank wall. Smiling, she pinned a small flower to the hero's breast. He was an elegant and unruffled man who would never back down, not even in the face of death itself. But the heroism of the Icebreaker was soon forgotten, buried in the storms of the north. With no nest or shelter, the bird faced the storms proudly. Its feathers had been assailed by coalescing ice and snow, leaving them coated in pearls of frost. Some were plucked away violently by the frigid winds. One such feather drifted in the air before the weight of the cold dragged it back down to the ground.
I believe that the birds will follow you and return to the gardens of the Summer Palace, now green once more. Those who have been chased away by the chilling tide, and those children who have lost their homes, will return with you to the home of their dreams.
The hero, bearing such burdens on his back, halted in the whipping snow, struggling to discern the color of that feather. Sealed in ice, the feather's color faded every step of the way, just like the hero's resolve. The cold that descends from the sky can freeze time itself. This myth was widely believed throughout the entombed mountain city. As the hero reached the top of the wall of wind and ice, the night was descending, and the snowstorm was howling. Neither sunlight nor moonlight could pierce this white wind easily. Even the bleakest storm cannot freeze the river of time. And even the most formidable hero will one day be forgotten. He was a warrior as silent as the ice itself, blocking the frigid winds that descended from the stars with his body. But not content with merely being protected, the maiden left the man she admired these last instructions.
If fear or despair, both of which are within our nature, should crush you or cause you to never return, then please, live on. Do not accompany us unto our doom, to languish forgotten in the snow.
Taking another swig of bitter wine to steel himself for the journey, he turned away from the maiden's glazed eyes, and he would set out on an unending pursuit towards the land of snow and profundity. Bearing his agreement with the mountain city, bearing their clear-eyed gazes, the hero never once feared the unknown beyond the icy curtain. The once lush mountainside and the blessings that now no longer fell from the skies drove the hero's motivation to carry on no matter what.
Past the ice-sealed door, down the corridors to the depths, he will break off a branch of white and bring hope to the land.
The maiden sang these songs to comfort her people, and she nursed her memories of him. She believed that he would return to her with genial springtime and unshakable hope in his train. But in the end, the hero who stepped out into the snow would not return in time. He would stand accused of cowardice by hateful words long ground to dust amidst the snowstorms.